Hey guys, Jim Savoldi, developer of the Behavioral Analysis and Markets Model. I'm going to cover several things tonight, dispel a couple of rumors that are out there, not spend too much time on that because it's nonsense and it's juvenile at one level. And then at the other level, it's about as sophisticated as it gets, and it's paid hitmen spreading propaganda because of the conversation that I started to have with Trey yesterday when he was taken out, basically. So, first off, as far as the picture goes, yeah, I'm a mystery man, and I've got this picture up. This picture's 12 years old. Okay, so this was basically the picture that was taken when we started this thing in 2009. I don't think there's any special reason to put an updated picture up there. The advantage for me is that I'm really not recognizable right now compared to that picture 12 years ago, and I like my privacy. I don't really want to be out there. I'm not trying to become a YouTube star. I'm not trying to be on TV. You'll never see me on Bloomberg. You'll never see me on CNBC. I've been invited on ABC recently. That's not me. I'll talk to the people that are in this group. And as soon as this entire thing has run its course and those people move on to other things, I'll be focusing on all sorts of stocks that are in a really similar setup. And I can find a lot of them. I find a lot of them all the time in all sorts of different areas, from commodities, currencies, stocks, ETFs, penny stocks. And so that's my goal. As far as the pictures and all the rest of this nonsense, I'd rather focus on the model, spend my time on the model, and go from there. As far as my voice not sounding like my voice from 2009, that was only half. I was only half kidding when I said that's probably the Gentleman Jack. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't really think my voice is that different, but that explains that. I'm sure that's a really exciting fact for all of you out there as you're trying to worry about your lives and families and kids and more important things. But let's get some of this juvenile stuff out of the way. And then I'm going to move right into some stuff that is actually really serious. And we'll give you an idea of why, my laptop was ruined last Thursday before last, the 27th, 28th of May, and why we had the big cyber attack hit us, not only here in the office, but in some other locations, and taking the site down and all that. And then obviously yesterday live with Trey, you guys saw it happen again. And, his computer was ruined. Trey was trying to sort of de-escalate things, in my opinion. And that's why I think he said, who knows, he might have bumped his computer, might have dropped it. Everybody out there that's really tech savvy, and especially the people that are in cybersecurity and know what they saw, and the guys who posted some of the cyber activity in Oklahoma and in San Francisco, you guys know exactly what that was. So we'll leave it at that. And I'd like to move on. This is a quick sneak peek of the new membership site that we're going to roll out later tonight. I've got a lot of work to do. This is just the homepage. But I really like what the guys have done. They put together a brand new site from scratch, very secure, and they did it in record time. I mean, my site was destroyed on Thursday, Friday. You guys have stuck with me, which I really appreciate, and you guys have been looking at charts that haven't been updated since that day. The reason for that is because my image catalog was completely blown up when the laptop was blown up. My model is highly secure in multiple places and can never be blown up. But I was a little sloppy with the image catalog, the gallery that I store all of my JPEG and PNG images in. And as a result, I have a ton of work because I have to sort of recreate those looking at the last chart I gave you and, try to line things up. And it's just a lot of work. So I'll be in the office all night long tonight, but I'm going to try to get that up for you guys. We're going to have some placeholder videos that you guys are going to see, where the updated videos will be played on these different pages. And that goes for the AMC Apes page, the S&P 500, the 30-year bond, the dollar, gold, crude oil, Bitcoin. So each of those pages, they're laid out similarly, and you'll see the forecast. You'll see, some granular information and some bigger information. For the time being, I'm going to avoid these intraday zones of strength and weakness. I will do the, daily and weekly and monthly zones of strength and weakness, just backing up a bit, just because it seems to be the consensus that both subscribers and the outside world think that, they basically believe their eyes, and they saw what happened on Friday. And, I proved my point, and that's one of the reasons why I'm taking so much heat right now. But no need to share those with the outside world, if you know what I mean. Again, please do not subscribe to the Anemoy predictive technology product, the Anemoy terminal. Please do not subscribe. Some people are coming in, and we're not ready for you guys yet. We need some navigation videos. We need to, help you guys along. Otherwise, you're just going to move into this and not have any idea where to go or what to do. Now, I do have tutorial pop-up videos in every section, like right here, and talks about chart functionality and on these other pages, but still, I don't have sort of a big picture navigation set up for you guys yet. And, it's just not ready for you. So you guys hang out. I'm going, like I said, I'm going to provide 30-day free access to every existing BAM investor member, subscriber, and people that come in, after today. But just hang out, because I want to really help you guys along with guiding you directly to a page and a specific chart that I believe I can teach you to use and benefit from within 15 to 60 minutes of sort of getting used to it. So hang out for the time being. What I do want to show you is the AMC. Remember, in one of my other videos, I told you guys that it would be a really good sign if that monthly trigger. Let me clean this up for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to clean this completely up for you guys. So if this weekly trigger, the gold line, were to pass through the monthly trigger, I told you guys that sort of signifies a intermediate term trend to a long-term trend, like, in other words, a brand new bull market starting. So this was really positive, because not only do we have this, explosive price move in the short term, but we have this, sort of follow through big picture trending setup, which fits in with the BAM model's idea that we have multiple zones of strength out into the future. And that, as I've said many times, everything I look at tells me this stock's going to make a new all-time high above that Thursday, Friday mark. And then we can kind of go from there. You guys know, if you're looking at the pinned tweet on my Twitter feed, that I went long the stock on May 4th in the family account at $9.19. So that's basically down in this area here. And stock moved up to 72 and change, I guess. So, anyone that thinks I'm not along for the ride, I'm not bullish, I'm not this and that, I don't really know how you square that with the fact that that's all I've talked about, is the fact that I targeted this stock specifically. I had a choice between GME and AMC. I chose AMC for a reason, and now you guys know the reason. As we look at the Anemoy day trader chart, which is 60-minute data, 5-minute data, and 1-minute data, you see that we're forming this tight 3-trigger cluster as we move down on Friday. I don't want to go into too much detail about this setup for people who are new to listening to some of my videos, but put it to you this way: the 3-trigger cluster is sort of what we had down in this period of the price action that led to this huge advance. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't fail and that we won't see some downside, but what it means is that if the stock does turn around, if we continue to see some decent hourly velocity characteristics in 5-minute, and the stock does turn up, that we can have an explosive move to the upside. So I'll be watching that this week. So now let's dive into the bigger question that all of you are sort of all of you are asking about, I guess, as far as why I would be hacked, why I would be targeted, why I would draw so much attention from people who have a lot of money and power and time to spend on trying to ruin me. You see that I've been doxxed, which is really serious. And so I will bring the police into the matter at this point. That's illegal. It's dangerous. It's a threat to people's lives. And as I said, it's not just me that's involved here. There are other people involved. So, that's something I'm not going to let anybody do. So let's focus on an interesting history of the market. If you guys haven't been around that long, Flash Boys was a book written by Michael Lewis. He's the same person that wrote The Big Short. Very famous author, very talented guy. And, he's one of these journalists that digs and digs until he finds the truth, and he's not afraid to step on toes. So in this Wikipedia posting, you could see that they're talking about Lewis. Lewis concludes that HFT, high frequency trading, is used as a method to front-run orders placed by investors. He goes further to suggest that broad technological changes and unethical trading practices have transformed the U.S. stock market from the world's most public, most democratic financial market into a rigged market. Okay. So this was happening before this question that you guys have brought up about, short interest and naked shorting and all the stuff that you guys are talking about now. I'm not going to go down that path because, as you can see, I already have a lot of enemies, and these people can destroy you financially, even if you've done nothing wrong. So I'm just not going down that path. But what I do want to show you guys is that there is a history of problems. Okay. So Michael Lewis in the book Flash Boys interviewed a person named Eric Hunsater. He also talked to Brad, as you can see. Brad is the one who opened up IEX. IEX is the company that I use for the data that you see here. Okay. Brad's idea was that he wanted to level the playing field for the little guy. And his idea as a way to do that was, since the big guys weren't going to slow down their high frequency trading, right? It was turning into sort of an arms race, throwing money at the fastest technology possible. He decided that he'd level the playing field by setting in basically speed bumps so that he would slow down the fastest performers to the point where everyone would sort of arrive at the buy sell point at the same time. So, good guy. Great idea here. It's the Investors Exchange. That's IEX, Investors Exchange. And there's a reason why I chose to sort of use them as my data provider. Again, as far as Eric Scott Hunsater goes, he was interviewed in this book, and they used a lot of his technology to understand what was going on in this type of an environment. Eric also, as I said earlier, has reviewed this book. He says, if you think Flash Boys was explosive, In Bed with Wall Street is downright nuclear. Here's Eric Hunsater, okay? Now, Eric is the man, if you can see over here in the margin, who was awarded a $750,000 whistleblower award from the SEC. Very ethical guy. Seems to have a very, very... put it to you this way, my views align with his views. So let's leave it at that. And then something I think would be really interesting for you guys, there's whether or not you know it, there's this Chat with Traders channel that's having a lot of success. And the kid that does, or the young man that does the interviewing, Aaron, does a phenomenal job, brings on really interesting people, some more interesting than others, but that just depends on, what you're looking for out of his interviews. The reason I bring it up is because he did this interview with Eric. So if you guys look at this episode 71 on Chat with Traders on YouTube, and you'll see this: rigged markets, stealing, and corrupt regulators. And it's an interview with Eric Hunsater. Now, this is from 2016, and you guys have noticed if you went to Eric's Twitter page that he's been, really quiet for a number of years. That's probably a result of the way these guys, tried to turn his life upside down once he was awarded this, and once he, started to talk openly about, how broken some of our markets are. So he's a good guy. These are all the guys I've aligned myself with. The nonsense about the company's name begins with a C and me having anything to do with that. The hedge fund I worked at, guys, every hedge fund is related in some way or another to that company that begins with a C. I mean, you can't execute almost anything. You can't do business without having some involvement with that company. So the fact that I worked at that fund and that fund has some loose connection with the C company it's just a joke. You guys have seen what I've done since I came in. You saw where I bought the stock. You saw what I pointed out on Friday. I followed it up with an interview with Trey to sort of expose that and have people look even more closely at what I thought I saw during that 25-minute period of trading on Friday. And you saw what happened to Trey, what's happened to me. Out of the 20,000 new followers I picked up, there is probably 1,000 that are bots and accounts that were created this week or a couple days ago. And those are the people attacking me. Hover over the user, look at when they started the account, look at how many followers they have, and you guys can immediately eliminate some of this nonsense because these are paid propaganda actors.